Hi, this video will talk about how to solve a quadratic when some of the solutions may actually be complex. All right, so as with every time we want to solve a quadratic equation, we want to get it equal to 0. Okay, so and we typically want our a term to be positive. So in this case, I'm going to move my 3x and my minus 5 over here. All right, and the way I do it is subtract 3x both sides. So I get x squared minus 3x and add 5 both sides. Plus 5 is going to equal 0. And now, anytime I want to solve a quadratic, I can always use the quadratic formula. In this case, my a is 1. That's the coefficient out in front of x squared. My b is negative 3. That's the coefficient in front of x. And my c is a positive 5. And now to solve it, I'm just going to plug in for a, b, and c in the quadratic formula over here. I get negative b. Well, b is negative 3 times the negative. It becomes positive 3. Plus or minus the square root of b squared. Well, negative 3 squared is 9. And then minus 4. A, which is 1, and c, which is 5. Okay. All over 2a. And my a in this case is 1, so it's just going to be over 2. And now I can simplify my radical. Here I have 3 plus or minus the square root of, well, minus 4 times 5 is a negative 20, plus 9 is going to be negative 11. Okay, all over 2. All right, now notice I have a negative underneath the radical. All right, I do not want to leave it that way. Okay, we can simplify this using our rules of complex numbers. Okay, and so my instructions actually said to write this in standard form, so I write the real number. I can put the 3 over the 2, all right, and then I'm going to have plus or minus. And now remember, when I have a negative underneath the radical, I can just bring this out front and make it I. So this is going to be I. I cannot reduce the square root of 11 any further, so it's I square root 11 all over 2. Okay? So again, you're just going to solve them the same way you would if you had real solutions, okay? But if you end up with a negative underneath your radical, you bring the negative out front, make it an I. And that is how you solve a quadratic with complex solutions.